Has Donald Trump ever been sued for sexual harassment or misconduct? I remember it like it was yesterday. I was a young journalist in New York City back in the 90s. When Donald Trump's name started popping up in connection with a woman named Jill Harth, she claimed that he had made unwanted advances, touching her and even pinning her down on his couch. I recall covering the story and talking to several sources who corroborated her account. Now, I wasn't directly involved in the case. It was actually settled out of court for an undisclosed sum. But I did have a chance encounter with Trump himself shortly after the allegations surfaced. He was still relatively unknown outside of New York City at that point, but his ego and bombastic personality were already on full display. I remember walking into the Plaza Hotel bar where he was holding court with a group of admirers. As soon as I spotted him, I excused myself to get a closer look. Purely for journalistic purposes, of course. He noticed me hovering around and strode over to introduce himself. That's when things got interesting. He started bragging about his business dealings, and, suddenly, started telling this bizarre story about how he used to drive women crazy with his charm. It was like a switch had been flipped. The room seemed to darken slightly, and an eerie silence fell over everyone within earshot. I recall thinking, wait a minute, this sounds eerily familiar. But then just as quickly, he turned on his heel and walked away. Was this just a coincidence or something more?